Then I want to say to the people that are watching us live on the internet, good afternoon. And as always, it is good to stand before you. You know, sisters and brothers, the Lord has blessed us at the Israel of God because we know about things that the world don't have a clue about. We have really been blessed with a whole lot of knowledge. But you know, when I look at some of the sisters and brothers' behavior, I wonder if somebody's listening. And the Lord prompted this a long time ago, sisters and brothers. It's one of these old lessons that the Lord had me to put together. Because I asked the question, once I look around with all these people that with all this knowledge, and when I watch their behavior, the Lord put it in my mind. The title of this lesson, Servants of God, Who Is and Who Is Not. Their works will tell. Servants of God, who is and who is not. Their works will tell. You know, we have a lot of people that call on the name of the Lord, sisters and brothers. But when you watch their behavior, you have to wonder about it. Because this word is supposed to change you. It's supposed to make a difference. I am not what I was when I came into this word. I'm not even close to what I used to be. Because, sisters and brothers, if this word cannot change you, then somebody have a problem. We're going to examine this, because if you're servant of God, then you're going to have some of these attributes. And we're going to let the Lord address this, sisters and brothers. Because if you're not going to adhere to what the Lord tells you to do, then you're wasting everybody's time. We're going to start this in Matthew, the 7th chapter. And we're going to start reading at verse 13. Matthew 7 and verse 13. Okay, read it.
Enter ye in at the straight gate.
Uh-huh.
For wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction.
Uh-huh.
And many there be which go in thereat.
And that is a fact, sisters and brothers, because the straight gate, these are people that's going to keep the law of God. They're going to maintain their image as a servant, no matter where they are, what time it is, or wherever they might be. That is the straight gate. That means you can't do what the world is doing, sisters and brothers. Right. And he said, narrow is this gate, and there'll be few that find it. So if you're among the ones that found it, consider yourself blessed and show the Lord that you appreciate your blessing, that you appreciate your blessing by behaving like you do. Go ahead and read.
Because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life.
Go ahead. That's talking about eternal life, sisters and brothers. Go ahead.
And few there be that find it. Beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing.
Go ahead.
But inwardly they are ravening wolves. Ye shall know them by their fruit. Do men gather grapes of thorns or figs of thistles?
He's not beware of false prophet. Everybody going to come to you like a servant of God, but you shall know them by their fruit. But if you don't have any knowledge, how can you identify? Right. You've never seen an apple tree in your life, a fig tree in your life, and somebody walks out and find out, say, well, you know, why don't you go and get some of the apples? You're looking at the fig and the apple tree. You don't know which is which. But once you go and do your research and you read, this is the apple, then you can go right out there and say, hey, this is an apple tree. If somebody says, no, it's a fig, no, this is an apple tree, because I can tell by its fruits. Same thing is your behavior, sisters and brothers. You're going to know about its fruit. First thing, because it always starts with the false prophets, sisters and brothers, because they always want to give you an excuse. People call me all the time, want me to tell them something that is not written. I don't go there. Well, brother, what is it about this? Well, I believe that is your opinion. If the Lord don't say it, if I don't read it, I don't say it. I don't think I have that much pull with the Lord. Go ahead and read.
17. Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit.
Go ahead.
A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit.
Now, that would be something to remember, sisters and brothers. You see a person that's always misbehaving, is always have something ugly to say about somebody, always in some kind of mess, then what do you expect when you get mess from them? If you get an evil tree, sisters and brothers, don't expect something good from it. I'm going to give you, keep your marker right here. We're coming right back here. Let's go into Isaiah, the 26th chapter. Some people say, well, you know, all you got to do is show them love and let them know that you trust them and things going to get better. I'm gonna let you read something that Isaiah said. One small verse, sister and brother, but it carries a big punch. And it would behoove you to remember this. Isaiah 26, and we're going to read one verse, verse 10. Then we're going to go back to Matthew 26 and 10. Read it.
Let favor be showed to the wicked.
Yet let favor be shown to the wicked.
Yet will he not learn righteousness.
He still ain't going to learn righteousness. Go ahead and read.
In the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly, and will not behold the majesty of the Lord.
So you show favor to the wicked. You expect something real good going to happen. Then he turn around and do something wicked. Oh, why did you do this? I love you. I gave you the run of my house. I let you have this. I let you. Why did you hurt me? Because I was wicked and you should have recognized it. It's just like that old saying they said when a woman found a snake frozen almost to death in the street, she gets him and put him on her breath and warm him up, and then when he get warm, he bite her. Why did you bite me? You knew I was a snake when you picked me up. So you're around a person that always has something negative to say about somebody, always has something evil and wicked to say about somebody. Why do you think that they're not going to say the same thing about you when they get around somebody else? I don't care how much favor you show to the wicked. They will still be wicked even among righteous people. And you need to learn this so you won't be getting upset and hurt all the time and surprised all the time. Now let's go back to Matthew. I just want to read that one verse because you need to know that. That's a one verse, but it speaks a whole lot, sisters and brothers. Back to Matthew, the 7th chapter. And we're going to start reading at verse 19. Matthew 7 and 19. Okay, go ahead.
Every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire.
And the Lord mean that. And that tree is talking about men. Going to cut you down and cast. It's like you a fruit tree that don't bear no fruit. They cut it down and burn it. Same thing with you. The only problem is you ain't going to burn up. Go ahead and read.
Wherefore by their fruits ye shall know them.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven.
See, the Lord is giving you a message here. This is the kingdom from heaven. This is the Father's kingdom. So not everyone that said, Lord, Lord, go in into the kingdom, sisters and brothers. And you should pay this attention because you got people call on the Lord everywhere. Go ahead and read.
But he that doeth the will of my Father, which is in heaven.
That is the one that's going to enter into the kingdom, sisters and brothers. The one that do the will. All day tomorrow, you're going to hear Lord, Lord all over the world. But then they add their own doctrine, not the word of God. Go ahead and read.
Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? And in thy name have cast out devils?
Go ahead.
And in thy name done many wonderful works.
Does that sound like street people? That sound like church people, don't it? Look at all these good things that I've done in your name. Have I not done this? And what is the Lord going to answer these people? Go ahead and read.
And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you.
I never knew you. Go ahead and read.
Depart from me, ye that work iniquity.
Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. I told you not to steal, but you stole. I told you not to kill, but you killed. I told you not to bear false witness, but you lied on everybody. I told you to remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. But you did all your cooking, you did all your washing, and you washed your car, and then you went out and committed adultery on it. I didn't know you. Because you said, my God is the God of Sunday. God said, I only know the ones. And Jesus said, I am the God of the Sabbath. I am Lord also of the Sabbath day. So I don't know you, sisters and brothers. Same thing with behavior. If you don't do the right thing, and you're supposed to be a servant of God, and you hate your brother, you hate your sister, you got a problem. I know people hate their in-laws. I can't stand them. But I'm a servant of God. And then why is it if you're a servant of God, you have the latitude to love anybody? You don't have to get in their way, put yourself in a position to be harmed by. But hate? Servant of God don't do that. Let's go into Proverbs, the 6th chapter. Proverbs 6. Because people are always saying a bunch of things they think is all good. I'm going to show you what the Lord hates. Proverbs chapter 6. I marvel at it sometimes. I hear people they talk about, well, you know, my in-laws, this and that. And then I look around, some of the in-laws are in here. I ask the question to myself, I wonder what they're doing here. Proverbs 6 and verse 16. Proverbs 6 and verse 16. Okay, go ahead.
These 6 things does the Lord hate.
These 6 things that the Lord hate. Emphasize, the Lord hate. Hate is a strong emotion, ain't it? Yes, go ahead and read.
Yeah, 7 are an abomination unto him.
And even 7 are abomination. Go ahead and read.
A proud look.
A proud look.
A lying tongue.
A lying tongue.
And hands that shed innocent blood.
And hands that shed innocent blood. Murderers. Go ahead and read.
And heart that deviseth wicked imagination.
And somebody always thinking, imagine some wicked thing to do. To pull on somebody. Go ahead and read.
Feet that be swift in running to mischief.
And always want to get off into mischief. Go ahead and read.
A false witness.
Somebody that's always lying. Go ahead and read.
That speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among brothers.
And somebody's always creating confusion among sisters and brothers. Yep. God, see, he hates that. Yep. You know what they are. Because always what they are is always some confusion going on. Always some mess going on. Somebody is being defamed. Somebody's being talked about. Somebody's being accused. God, see, he hates that. Then you got a proud look. Well, I'm proud. Proud of what? That's why I say to people, well, I'm proud of you. What are you proud of? Especially if you're Israel. God said he could make you the top people on earth, the top financiers, the top of everything. All you had to do was keep his commandment. You didn't keep none of it. So now he said you're going to fall in the gutter. You ain't going to never look down on nobody because everybody else is above you. Yeah. So what you proud of? This is a problem. I see that with my Hebrew brothers all the time out there talking crazy like they know something. You should be hid somewhere. What verse are we? Well, let's go. So, but Lord, he hate that, sisters and brothers. He hate that. Let's go into Psalm, the 34th chapter. Psalm chapter 34. Because I look at it, sisters and brothers, and I just shakes my head. I said, what is wrong with this people? You supposed to be a servant of God? Servant of God. Do things that servants do. They do what the Lord wants you to do. Psalm 35, let's start 34 rather, and let's start reading at verse 11. Psalm 34 and 11. Okay, read it.
Come ye children, hearken unto me. I will teach you the fear of the Lord.
He said, come and listen unto me. I will teach you the fear of the Lord. Because people don't understand, if you don't fear the Lord, you ain't going to obey it. Go ahead and read.
What man is he that desireth life?
He said, what man that he that desired life? Go ahead and read.
And loveth many days.
And want to live a long time. Go ahead and read.
That he may see good.
Uh-huh.
Keep thy tongue from evil.
This is how you do it. You keep your tongue from evil.
And thy lips from speaking guile.
And your lips from always trying to deceive somebody. You want to live a long time? You want to be prosperous? Watch this. Yep. And stop putting it on people all the time. Go ahead and read.
Depart from evil and do good.
Depart from evil and do good.
Seek peace and pursue it.
Seek peace and follow after it, sisters and brothers. Don't be always ready to jump in the middle of some confusion, in the middle of a fight.
That's right.
Servants of God ain't supposed to do that. So if you want to pursue life, that's eternal life, seek peace, sisters and brothers. Let's go into Matthew, the 5th chapter. See, to me, these are little old bitty things that we should know automatically as servants of God. But when I look around, I said, wait, I better put something on the table because obvious somebody don't know how to serve God. I've seen some Israelites find out that he's an Israelite and he get downright wicked. Chest go out, head get big, and he become a total fool and running around embarrassing other people that call themselves Israelites. Because whether you want or not, we are our brother's keeper. He's going to make us his keeper because the people going to do that. Verse 1, Matthew 5 and verse 1. Matthew 5 and 1. Okay, read it.
And seeing the multitudes, he went up into a mountain, and when he was set, his disciples came unto him. And he opened his mouth and taught them, saying.
And he didn't, people talking about this is a sermon on the mount. There wasn't no sermon. They thought he was standing up there talking to the people. He was talking to his apostles, his disciples, the one that follow him. And then they're going to take it to the world. He was not speaking to the world here. Go ahead and read.
Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven.
Go ahead.
Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted.
That don't mean you be walking around, I'm mourning because I want to be. It means that you're mourning at the things that's going on in this earth, sister and brother.
Yes, sir.
You got people doing evil to people, speaking evil. You have homosexuality. You have transgender, sex change and all that. You're supposed to be mourning because of that. Because this man trying to alter God's creation. That's why I tell people, brother, well, you know, he felt like a woman, and then he had his sex change. Now he's a woman. I said, then let him go have a baby. Won't happen. Nope. Ask him if he's going to have a monthly. Won't happen. Why? It's because God didn't want it to happen. The tool he gave you to operate with, you have it, extract it. You ain't no good to nobody now. Like I told a brother one time, you know, he was whining like a woman. I said, brother, you can't be no woman. And if you won't be no man, that means you ain't nothing. It's all that simple. What verse are we?
We're at 5.
Go ahead.
Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth.
Now what's wrong with being meek?
Nothing.
They're the one that's going to inherit the earth. Go ahead and read.
Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled.
If you really want it, God going to give it to you. Ask and you shall receive. Go ahead and read.
Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy.
Ain't that something?
Yep.
So if you want mercy, be merciful. Because God going to give you what you give. That's why I say, forgive us our debt as we forgive our debtors. If you don't forgive your debt, then they ain't going to forgive yours. Go ahead and read.
Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God.
Only the pure in heart. Go ahead and read.
Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God.
And if you're a peacemaker, people will call you a child of God. They're always trying to make peace. Yep. That's a mild person. They're always trying to fix something that's broken. Skip down to verse 14. Verse 14. Go ahead and read.
Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid.
And he's telling you, servants of God are the light of the world. Even if you don't talk and you behaving and keeping God's laws and statutes, people looking at you. People admiring you. People say, I want to be just like that person. Because people are watching you. That's right. Like the Lord said, you don't light a candle and hide it under a bushel. Go ahead and read.
Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick.
Go ahead.
And it giveth light unto all that are in the house.
That's what you're supposed to be. You're supposed to edify everybody around you. By your behavior. Sometimes you don't have to open your mouth. Your behavior do.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven.
And that's what happened, sisters and brothers. You know, years ago, I guess about 40 years ago, I remember in Washington Park, you know, because I always dressed. Because I think, hey, I'm going to go out and talk. I ain't going to walk under, you know, looking like a vagabond. Then you had another cat, called himself a Moorish American, had a fez on. But he always come out, the only thing he had on his head this fit was a fez. And when he put on a suit, it looked like he had drug it through the mud. And he smelled like a distillery all the time. Oh, he talked ever so elegant. But you got a guy that didn't believe in no God, he said. He said, but if I have to believe in somebody's God, I'll believe in Boer's God, because at least he sent him out clean and he represent him. By his dress. Made sense to me? I'm going to serve a God going to send me out ragged and dirty and smelling like a whiskey seal all the time. I don't care how elegant you speak, they're looking at your appearance. This is what I'm saying, sisters and brothers. This all comes when it comes to being a servant of God. What verse was that? Skip down to verse 21. Down to verse 21. Because we need this, sisters and brothers. Because you're not a servant of God when you're sitting here. You're a servant of God 24/7. And when you are known as a servant of God, when you do something crazy, you're not indicting yourself, only you're indicting your God that you're supposed to represent. Y'all understand? Oh, yeah. This is a thing that we have to let resonate in our minds, sisters and brothers. Verse 21, go ahead and read.
Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, thou shalt not kill.
Go ahead.
And whosoever shall kill shall be in danger of the judgment. But I say unto you, that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment.
Ain't that something? It used to be. All I had to do was don't kill you. Now, I can walk around and say, boy, I sure wish she was dead. I wish a tree would fall on her. I wish lightning would do something to her. As long as I didn't do nothing, he said, in the old days, that was good. He said, that don't work no more now. Mm-hmm. You can't even be angry at him without a cause. And I even got news for you, sister and brother. This same God said, don't let the sun go down on your anger. You can't stop from being angry. But he said, be ye angry, but sin not. And don't let the sun go down on it. These are servants of God, sisters and brothers. And this have to be. Go ahead.
And whosoever shall say to his brother, Rakah, shall be in danger of the council.
That means you calling somebody, you ain't no good. You understand, you're worthless. You don't have the power to call another individual no good or worthless. Right. Because you didn't make him, God made him. You don't know what God had for him up the road. Right. So what you do is you better keep the eye on you. Because you are your responsibility. What verse?
End of 22.
Go ahead and read.
But whosoever shall say, thou fool, shall be in danger of hellfire.
That's letting you know you don't know who a fool is, don't you? Yeah. So you better be real careful of who you call one. Go ahead and read.
Therefore, if thou bring thy gift to the altar, and there rememberest that thy brother have aught against thee, leave there thy gift before the altar and go thy way.
Go ahead.
First, be reconciled to thy brother, and then come and offer thy gift.
What's the Lord telling you here? There no need of you coming to me offering a gift, and you and your brother are at one another. Y'all have aught against one another. I don't care. You want to walk up with, brother, boy, I got $2 million to put on the table. I'm going to say, put the $2 million there. But in God's eyes, he says that $2 million may as well be 2 peanuts because you hate your brother. Go back and reconcile with your brother. Then come and offer your gift. Then it will mean something. This is the way God operates, sister and brother. God is not man. It's all operate. Like God said, hey, he don't want the money of a prostitute or a homosexual put in his plate. It is your behavior. You can't buy God. And you have to look at this. He's looking at you. What you do is what's going to make a difference. Let's go over to Matthew, the 18th chapter. Matthew chapter 18. Because we got all this knowledge. I'm going to tell you something. Israel God got some knowledge. That's why people come to us from all over the world. I have ministers talking about changing their whole churches. Switching to the Sabbath day. I talk to people on the phone sometimes. I am struggling to understand what they're saying. But it's one thing I have gleaned out of the conversation is that they know that the Lord has given us the word. And they want it. But then they decide, well, I'm going to come from the Netherlands and visit the Israel of God. They come up here and y'all acting all crazy and foolish. Go back to the Netherlands and never come again. Matthew 18, and I use the Netherlands. That wasn't something I picked out because I had a guy call me from the Netherlands. Guy sent me tired from the Netherlands and asked me, do you have a church in the Netherlands? I said, no, but who knows? I always leave the door open because there is nowhere that I figure that we can't go if God wants us to go there. And this message is to all the sons of Adam. Simple as that. Matthew 18 and verse 21. 18 and 21. Go ahead and read.
Then came Peter to him and said, Lord, how old shall my brother sin against me and I forgive him?
That's a legitimate question. Go ahead and read.
Till 7 times? Jesus saith unto him, I say not unto thee until 7 times.
He said, shall I forgive him 7 times? You know, 7 times complete, and that's the end of it. Jesus said, I say not unto you 7 times. Go ahead and read.
But until 70 times 7.
That's a long time, isn't it? Yeah. For 70 times 7. 70 times 7, sisters and brothers, that is a long, long time. As long as he come and want to ask for it. You're supposed to be prepared. You look for a reason to forgive a sister or brother if they really mean it. Go ahead and read.
Therefore is the kingdom of heaven likened unto a certain king, which would take account of his servants. And when he had begun to reckon, one was brought unto him which owed him 10,000 talents.
Go ahead.
But forasmuch as he had not to pay, his Lord commanded him to be sold, and his wife and his children, and all that he had, and payment to be made.
Now, that's where it was in the old days. When you owed a big piece of money, they'd lock you and your family, in other words, put you in a servitude, like selling you, and they collect the money until they have recovered their debt. Then you can go free. So he said, lock him up. His whole family, until I recover my money. What happened here? Go ahead and read.
26. The servant therefore fell down and worshiped him, saying, Lord, have patience with me, and I will pay thee all.
Go ahead.
Then the Lord of that servant was moved with compassion and loosed him and forgave him the debt.
So he forgave him. He was compassionate. He was moved when this guy made a good a plea, like you can make a plea to God. And he not only said, well, okay, I'll give you a little time, or either I cut it. He forgave him of the whole debt. Yeah. Wiped the slate clean. That's God do stuff like that. But then you have to watch yourself. Go ahead and read.
But the same servant went out and found one of his fellow servants, which owed him 100 pence. And he laid hands on him and took him by the throat, saying, pay me that thou owest.
Ain't that something? Now you go out there and God just forgiving you of 1,000 talents, and you go and you owe you 1 penny. And you're going to grab him by the throat. Pay me that you owe me. Go ahead and read.
And his fellow servant fell down at his feet and besought him, saying, have patience with me, and I will pay thee all.
Ain't that what he said to the Lord of the household? Yeah. What did this guy do? Go ahead and read.
And he would not, but went and cast him into prison till he should pay the debt.
Ain't that something now? You've been given a move, have a $10,000 debt wiped out, and this guy owe you $10. And you treat him worse than you was treated. You was ahead of the game. You was $9,990 ahead of the game. And you going to grab him and throw him in the prison for $10? Go ahead and read.
31. So when his fellow servants saw what was done, they were very sorry and came and told unto their Lord all that was done. Then his Lord, after he had called him, said unto him, O thou wicked servant, I forgave thee all that debt because thou desirest me.
He said, now you wicked servant, I forgave you all that debt because you simply desired me. What did we read? Show favor to the wicked and he would do what? Be wicked still. Yeah. Go ahead and read.
Shouldest not thou also have had compassion on thy fellow servant, even as I had pity on thee?
Go ahead.
And his Lord was wroth and delivered him to the tormentors till he should pay all that was due unto him.
He had got away with it. God had forgiven him his whole debt. But he went out and showed that he wasn't worth it. So what he did was, not only am I going to make you pay for what you did, I'm going to make you pay for what I forgave you. Yep. This is the way the Lord operates, sisters and brothers. Go ahead and read.
So likewise shall my heavenly Father do also unto you, if ye from your hearts forgive not every one his brother their trespass.
They come. They find out that they have done something wrong to you. They have insulted you, not intentionally. And they come and say, look, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do it. Or either, look, when I did that, I was wrong, and I want you to please forgive me for it. No, I ain't forgiving you for nothing. You should have thought about it. You God sitting in heaven, and them angels right there making a note. Now, when you come looking for forgiveness, you ain't got nothing coming. The Lord is telling you this. Telling you this. Let's back up to Matthew, the 3rd chapter. These things the Lord wants you to look at, sisters and brothers, is because if God forgive you for something, and you will not be a forgiver, then that which he forgave you for, he's going to recover it. Because you're a wicked servant. Matthew 3 and verse 1. 3 and 1. Go ahead and read.
In those days came John the Baptist preaching in the wilderness of Judea, and saying, Repent ye, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. That's when John the Baptist was preaching. Then a whole lot of them Pharisees and sinners showed up that meant no good. Skip down to verse 5 and let's see what happened. Go ahead. Then went out to him Jerusalem and all Judea and all the region round about Jordan, and were baptized of him in Jordan, confessing their sins.
Go ahead.
But when he saw many of the Pharisees and Sadducees come to his baptism, he said unto them, O generation of vipers, who have warned you to flee from the wrath to come?
See, you know these guys that have no good in them, that done took the word and perverted it? There's the one that Jesus talked about when he said, do what they say, but don't do what they do. He said, you generation of vipers, who have warned you from the wrath to come? Go ahead and read.
Bring forth therefore fruits meet for repentance.
In other words, don't come out here giving me mouth service. Change your behavior. That is fruit. Yeah. That's good for repentance. You showing me that you have repented. Skip down and read verse 10. Verse 10 and go ahead.
And now also the axe is laid unto the root of the tree. Therefore every tree which bringeth not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire.
So he said, now the axe is laid to the root of the tree now. Letting you know, if your behavior is not good, then why are you encumbering the ground? You got a fig tree that won't bear figs. What's it there for? You can't give me no fig. Well, maybe you're good for firewood. I'm going to cut you down and burn you. This is what the Lord is telling you. Pay attention, sisters and brothers. You have ever so much knowledge, but if you have a rotten disposition and always whining and have something ugly to say to somebody, that knowledge don't mean nothing. You're going to go to hell. You're going to be the smartest dude in hell. Philippians, the 4th chapter. Philippians chapter 4. I want people to understand that. People love, you know how people love to up somebody. But the Lord said, I'm looking at your fruits. I am looking at your fruits. Say what you want, but I'm watching your behavior. Philippians chapter 4, and we're going to start at verse 10. This is when, you know, Paul, he was a tent maker and all, but then Paul got busy sometime. He needed help. And when the people helped Paul, was it for Paul's sake or for their sake? Verse 10, go ahead and read.
But I rejoiced in the Lord greatly, that now at the last your care of me have flourished again.
Go ahead.
Wherein ye were also careful, but ye lacked opportunity.
He's glad in God. Now y'all to start helping me again. For a minute there, wasn't nobody helping Paul. He's struggling and trying to eat and preach the gospel at the same time. Go ahead and read.
Not that I speak in respect of one.
Go ahead.
For I have learned in whatsoever state I am therewith to be content.
The servant of God can do that. Yeah. When you're living good, you up there. When you're living bad, you're down there. But still, you don't turn your weight back on the Lord. You're thanking for what you got. I don't have the big house. I don't have the big car. But at least I got me a nice bologna sandwich. I appreciate that because you could have took that from me. Think about it, sisters and brothers. Skip down to verse 16. Verse 16 and go ahead.
For even in Thessalonica, ye sent once and again unto my necessity. Not because I desire a gift.
Go ahead.
But I desire fruit that may abound to your account.
That's what it's all about. Yeah. He said, I was in Thessalonica, you sent a lot of things to me. Not that I desire your money, but I desire fruit to put to your account. In other words, your behavior, your support is not for Paul or even like the Israel of God. You paying your tithe, it is not for the Israel of God, not for Bull. Y'all know that because I don't collect no money. I don't get paid, don't need it, and I don't mind saying it. Person come to me, brother, you should be telling people that you don't need it and you never been broke. What you want me to do, lie? Oh, I was down and I didn't have nowhere else to go. I was on my last loaf of bread. You know, I had one old pair of shoes. No. Lord has always blessed me. And it's not on me bragging. That is the testament to my God. He knew me. I love walking up here and saying, no, I don't collect no money. You can't pay me. I got enough. That don't mean I'm going to loan you some, so don't come at it. It ain't going to happen. But he's letting you know, sisters and brothers, these things are to your account. You know, I had to send a letter out one time, sisters and brothers. They call it a pastoral letter. I let somebody talk me into it. I don't know if I'm asking for money or whatever it is. But in order to send it to everybody, I went into the people that's listed in the computer. And the only one that's listed in the computer are the people that pay tithes and offering. And I sent a letter to everybody. Everybody was talking about their letter in this here. Then a couple of brother and sister come up and say, oh, we didn't get a letter. People asking, I don't know why I didn't give him a letter. That told me then that they had nothing to add to their account. They sat in the house, function in committees, but never gave as much as $5. nor $1, or they would have been in the computer. You understand? The Lord revealed that to me, but God saw it all the time. So this is not for God, not for his operation. This is for your account. Your account, sisters and brothers. Let's go on to Luke, the 7th chapter. Because your behavior tell it all. Your conversation tell it all. People always say, Brother Bull, how do you do what you do? I don't think about it. I just do it. I don't have no choice. I do what I do. I come up here every day. In fact, I come into this building 7 days a week because I got stuff to do. That don't mean I want you coming here and want to talk to me all the time. It ain't going to happen. So get it out your mind. Yeah, I know how you think. It's not going down. I'm up here because I need to be up here. I got stuff to do. And God is my witness. When I had a paying job before I retired, it was almost like I didn't do nothing compared to the labor I do in the Israel of God. When I retired, that's when I went to work. Luke 7, verse 36. 7 and 36. Okay, go ahead.
And one of the Pharisees desired him that he would eat with him. And he went into the Pharisee's house and sat down to meat.
So this is Jesus. He desired Jesus. You know, Jesus was real accommodating. This guy, will you come by my house and have dinner at my house? Okay. I'm going to go on by there and sit down and eat in your house. Okay. Mm-hmm. This is why I look at people nowadays. Jesus was exposed to everybody. Anybody could walk up to him, shake his hand. Anybody could invite him. He'd go to their house. You get some of these great big preachers, you can't get close to him. And then if you want to talk to him, you got to make an appointment. Well, you have to do that with me too. But you don't have to go through 15 people to get to me. But then if you want, but you can walk right up here and shake my hand. If you want to talk about something, if we can do it in a few minutes, then good. You ask, oh, okay. I don't say, well, you know, go ask Cornell. Then Cornell said, well, so you got to go ask Tyrone. You got to go through the protocol. Jesus, when he was invited, he went. He didn't go to apostles and say, well, could you ask the master, Willie? He asked him. Go ahead and read.
37. And behold, a woman in the city which was a sinner, when she knew that Jesus sat at meat in the Pharisee's house, brought an alabaster box of ointment.
Go ahead.
And stood at his feet behind him weeping. And began to wash his feet with tears. And did wipe them with the hairs of her head. And kissed his feet and anointed them with the ointment.
So this woman was a sinner. You know, I've come to the conclusion she was a prostitute. You understand? Yep. She coming there and she crying and she doing all this stuff. Go ahead and read.
Now when the Pharisee which had bidden him saw it, he spake within himself, saying, this man, if he were a prophet, would have known who and what manner of woman this is that toucheth him, for she is a sinner.
What did this man just do in his mind?
Condemn.
He just condemned Jesus.
Yep.
You know, if he was a prophet, he would know who handling him. But he found out Jesus can hear his thoughts too. So Jesus weighed in on him. Go ahead and read.
And Jesus answering said unto him, Simon, I have somewhat to say unto thee.
Go ahead.
And he saith, Master, say on.
Ain't that something? Master, say on. The ultimate hypocrite. He didn't condemn them. Now he called him master. Master, say on. Go ahead and read.
There was a certain creditor which had two debtors. The one owed 500 pence and the other 50.
Go ahead.
And when they had nothing to pay, he frankly forgave them both. Tell me, therefore, which one of them will love him most?
Go ahead.
Simon answered and said, I suppose that he to whom he forgave most.
Ain't that something? Now, he answered the question right. The one that you forgave most, that's the one that loved you most. Then Jesus going to drop it on him. Go ahead and read.
And he said unto him, thou hast rightly judged. And when he turned to the woman and said unto Simon, seest thou this woman?
You see this woman here? Go ahead and read.
I entered into thy house. Thou gavest no water for my feet. But she have washed my feet with tears and wiped them with the hairs of her head.
So now, it was a custom. You go into the house, you give it water, you wash your feet. He said, you didn't give me no water when I came into your house. But this woman have constantly washed my feet with the tears, and she wiped my feet with the hairs of her head. Go ahead and read.
Thou gavest me no kiss.
You gave me no holy kiss. Like they greeted them one another in those days. But go ahead and read.
But this woman, since the time that I came in, have not ceased to kiss my feet. My head with oil thou didst not anoint. See, you anointed. See, with our hair, it need to be anointed. You understand? That's why we have a grease. And instead of VO, that's that thing. I remember when I was stationed in California. I had a couple of Gentile roommates. I think they used that VO7 or something like that. VO5 for removing oil. I'm putting this stuff in my hair, and my head getting worse. What happened? I had a brother say, look, brother, what you using on your head? VO7. He said, you need to get you some Moline. Y'all young people don't know about that. That was the grease of the day. So now, he said, you didn't anoint my head with oil. Go ahead and read. But this woman have anointed my feet with ointment.
Go ahead.
Wherefore I say unto thee, her sins, which are many, are forgiven.
Go ahead.
For she loved much. But to whom little is forgiven, the same loveth little.
Ain't that something?
Yeah.
Her sins are forgiven. She loved much. She was sorry, sisters and brothers. Yeah. It's obvious that she had repented, or either she was in a situation sometime, got thrown in it that was not of her making. Sometimes you're pushed into doing wrong. Sometimes situation make people do wrong. That's why you must always be prepared to forgive. You don't know the causes, therefore you cannot condemn by the effects. Servants of God are supposed to know that. Read the next verse. Go ahead.
And he said unto her, thy sins are forgiven.
Now skip down to verse 50 and read it.
And he said to the woman, thy faith hath saved thee. Go in peace.
The woman didn't say a word. She didn't open her mouth. Nope. But her behavior showed the Lord that she was thoroughly sorry for what she had done. Yes, sir. She didn't even ask him for forgiveness. But by her behavior, let the Lord know she is worth forgiving. Yeah. This is what the Lord is looking at, sisters and brothers. This is what the Lord is paying attention to. Instead of being like this Pharisee, self-righteous, didn't condemn the Lord. He didn't condemn the woman. He didn't even have enough compassion in him to see that this woman had to be thoroughly sorry to go through all the changes that she was going through and crying all the time. If a sister brother can't see that, then somebody is not serving the right God. Let's go to Ecclesiastes, the 7th chapter. See, we need to know this, sisters and brothers, because I'm going to tell you, we have some people here in the Israel of God whose behavior is downright reprehensible to me. I just don't say nothing. I just pray that the Lord will fix them. And you go on the internet and see some of the things that some of the sisters and brothers in the Israel of God say on that internet. I wonder, what Israel of God did they go to? Whole lot of self-righteousness here. Oh, yeah. Whole lot, sisters and brothers. Too much. Because you're so self-righteous until you condemn. You turn to a condemner. You turn to a person that can't forgive. You turn to a person that ain't nothing pure to you no more. Everybody have a problem, but you. Ecclesiastes chapter 7. We're going to read verse 16 first. Ecclesiastes 7 and 16. Okay, read it.
Be not righteous over much.
Be not righteous over much. Go ahead and read.
Neither make thyself over wise.
Uh-huh.
Why shouldest thou destroy thyself?
Ain't that something? Don't be too righteous. Righteous more so righteous until you turn to an unrighteous person. Don't be wise unto yourself. You know it and don't nobody else. He said, why should you destroy yourself? This is what happened to over-righteous people. Skip down to verse 20. Verse 20 and go ahead.
For there is not a just man upon earth.
Will you read that again?
For there is not a just man upon earth.
There is not is an absolute, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and read.
That doeth good and sinneth not.
Go ahead.
Also take no heed unto all words that are spoken.
He said, look, also, don't pay attention to every word you hear. Go ahead and read.
Lest thou hear thy servant curse thee. For oftentimes also thine own heart knoweth that thou thyself likewise hast cursed others.
Otherwise, don't be so quick to condemn people for what they say. Because you done said the same thing about somebody else. Yes, sir. See, boy, I was never so insulted in my life. But you've done the same thing to somebody else. He's letting you know, watch yourself. So you hear somebody say something ugly about you, don't be so quick to condemn them. Give them time. They might discover, well, I was wrong about that person. And then they come and say, you know, I said so-and-so, so-and-so, so. I don't want to hear. Your words told me what you are, but you ain't listening to my words now. Maybe what I am now is not what I was when I made the statement. Servants of God give you the latitude to forgive people. Let's go into the book of James. I want you to look at these things because, like I said, we got a lot of knowledge. Yes. We know about the abomination of desolation. We know about the great tribulation. We know that them fiery tongues in Acts, the 2nd chapter, wasn't just some tongue floating out. We know it was angels was showing the mouth only. But we look at other places where the angel just showed his fingers. Other places where the angel showed his hand with a book in it. And other places when the whole angel showed up with the book in it. And all of them was bringing knowledge. We know about that. We know that God is creating God. We know that death is merely an interruption in life. We know all of that stuff and much more. But we don't know how to walk in it. Like I say, you're going to be the smartest sister and brothers in the lake of fire. Then you can't come up out of that, sisters and brothers. That's the last stop. Like I gave a lesson for the TV program, Lake of Fire. The last stop for sinners. You don't want to go there. James chapter 1. James chapter 1. We're going to start reading at verse 19. James 1 and 19. Okay, go ahead.
Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath.
In other words, listen well. Then don't just time you hear something run your mouth. I used to have that problem. Somebody say something to me, I just cut in and correct it before I even know what they want. They say, hey, brother, look here, you don't know what I'm finna say. How you going to correct me? I had to get out of that. That was a flaw I had. Then something happened. I get mad and do something stupid. Then a few minutes, oh, man, I should have waited. I shouldn't have did that. That's why I said, swift to hear, slow to speak, and slow to wrath. Give your mind enough time to catch up with your emotion. Go ahead and read.
For the wrath of man worketh not the righteousness of God.
An angry person don't work no righteousness of God. He just don't do it. He can't think. Skip down to verse 22. Verse 22, go ahead.
But be ye doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves.
Go ahead.
For if any be a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like unto a man beholding his natural face in a glass.
Go ahead.
For he beholdeth himself and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was.
Ain't that something? So he said you have to be a doer of the word. If you do it, then your behavior is reminding you of the word. But if you don't do it, it says you're just like a person that's looking in the mirror. Soon as you walk away from the mirror, you're going to forget what you look like. If you don't do the word, you just hear it and talk it all, that's it. Then you go away here, go somewhere else, and you don't practice it, then you're going to forget that you're a servant of God. Yeah. You're going to be behaving just like the people around you. And they're going to say, ain't that old Holy James? Old Preacher Robert? Look how he behaving. They're looking at you. Ain't he supposed to serve a God they call the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? That must be a weird God. Like the guy said about me, about this guy, if I'm going to serve God, I serve Boaz God. At least he behaved. He dressed like a servant of God. Think about it. What verse?
We're at 25.
Go ahead and read it.
But whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty and continueth therein, he being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work,
go ahead.
This man shall be blessed in his deed.
That's the one that hear it and then turn around and do it. That's the one that the Lord's going to bless in your deed. He's going to bless your hand. Bless your labor. Yep. Bless you among people. Go ahead and read.
If any man among you seem to be religious, and bridleth not his tongue, but deceiveth his own heart, this man's religion is vain.
So if you're supposed to be a servant, and you run your mouth all the time, you don't bridle your tongue or watch what you say, or you say anything to hurt anybody, then your faith is vain. Because James going to tell you something about this tongue, sisters and brothers. Let's go into the 3rd chapter. James, the 3rd chapter. We're going to start at verse 1. James 3:1. Go ahead and read.
My brethren, be not many masters, knowing that we shall receive the greater condemnation.
When he's talking about we, he's talking about the servants of God. Yeah. You understand? Yeah. This is what people don't understand. You think that you say you're a servant of God, don't you know that we are going to receive the greater condemnation, sisters and brothers, if we don't watch this? Because we have said, I'm holy. I serve God. I go to church every Sabbath day. But then you open your mouth and they see ugly. Don't you know that we are going to receive the greater damnation of a guy on the street? Hey, man, I don't believe in nothing. Let's skip it. Didn't know. Well, they expect him to be like that, but not you. Go ahead and read.
For in many things we offend all.
Yes, sir.
If any man offend not in word, the same as a perfect man, and able also to bridle the whole body.
Boy, that's pretty rough, ain't it? Go ahead and read.
Behold, we put bits in the horse's mouth, that they may obey us, and we turn about their whole body.
Ain't that something? You put a bit, and you ride the horse, you can jerk it and turn this whole big horse around. Control the whole horse with a little bitty bit. Go ahead and read.
Behold also the ships, which though they be so great, and are driven of fierce winds,
go ahead,
yet are they turned about with a very small ham, whithersoever the governor listeth.
And look at all these big ships out there. No matter battleships or whatever, they got a little bitty rudder on the back. You turn this, I don't care how modern it is, it's still the same thing. You turn the rudder, all of a sudden, that rudder turns that whole big ship around. Yep. Smallest part on the ship, but it's controlling the whole ship. Go ahead.
Even so, the tongue is a little member.
Look how little your tongue is. It's not big as your foot. You could hide it in one hand. Small little member. Go ahead and read.
And boasteth great things.
Yes, sir.
Behold how great a matter a little fire kindleth.
Go ahead.
And the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. So is the tongue among our members.
Go ahead.
That it defileth the whole body, and setteth on fire the course of nature, and it is set on fire of hell.
So it's a small member, but it defiles the whole body. I'm not lying, in the world, I used to look at women, I'm telling you, she was laying there. dressed to the T, had every curve on the chart. Walk elegant, look elegant. Then she opened her mouth. Well, I ain't gonna deal with this with black and the blank. What? I can't believe what's coming out of this woman's mouth. Bunch of expletive deletives. I tell you a true story, sisters and brothers. So when you're older than me, old as I am, you got a lot of true stories. When I was stationed in San Bernardino, California, Northern Air Force Base, there was a girl named Vicky. I'm not lying, sisters and brothers. Vicky was so black until you could see only her teeth in the daytime. I'm trying to make a point. Wasn't nothing good looking on her. But Vicky had such a personality. And she had such a demeanor in her conversation. So all of us was being led around behind Vicky. Not to take a temporary advantage of her, we wanted to marry her. And she married a dude that all the other women just swooned over. And like that old blues record said, a St. Louis woman, she led him around by an apron string. Wasn't nothing good looking on Vicky, but her personality, her conversation, her demeanor was beautiful. That overrode everything. So just like it can do that for the positive, this tongue can do for the negative. This is what James is trying to tell you, sisters and brothers. Right. This message he wanted you to get. Go ahead and read what verse?
7.
Go ahead.
For every kind of beast and of birds and of serpents and of things in the sea is tamed. And have been tamed of mankind. Man done tamed everything that's been in this creation. Go ahead and read. But the tongue can no man tame. It is an unruly evil. It is an unruly evil. Go ahead and read. Full of deadly poison. Full of deadly poison. He said here that is like look, it sets forth in action the forces of nature. That means you get angry. You say things. Wars are created because of conversation. Like we have this guy in the White House. He hollered at one over there in North Korea. We could end up in a war because of conversation. This guy been rattling missiles for ever since the Korean conflict. But ain't nobody did nothing, you know. Now he has somebody reciprocating. I will come over here and burn your house down. What? I tell you what, I'm going to get me a bigger missile. Ain't no telling when it's going to happen. Wait a minute. Well, I better hit him before he hit me. Before you know it, we're in trouble. Why? This. Unruly evil sets in forces nature. How many fights that the tongue then cause? How many people are dead because of conversation, sisters and brothers? These things, sisters and brothers, you have to pay attention to. Go ahead and read. 9. Therewith bless we God, even the Father. And therewith curse we men, which are made after the similitude of God. Ain't that something? You're going to bless God. You love him, huh? Then you're going to turn around and curse your sisters and brothers that made in the image of God. Think about what you're saying, sisters and brothers. Think about what is going on. Skip down to verse 13. Verse 13 and read it. Who is a wise man and endued with knowledge? Who is a wise man that is endowed with knowledge? Go ahead. Among you. Let him show out of good conversation his works with meekness of wisdom. Let him show out of his conversation his good work with meek and wisdom. That's the wise person. Not the one I'm going to give you a piece of my mind. I told her this. What? You ain't going to get away with it. And I said this and I said that and I cursed him. Hey, that ain't no servant of God, sisters and brothers. You don't do that.
Thank you for tuning in to today's lesson. If you are in the Chicagoland area, we welcome you to join our church community every Saturday at 12 noon Central. We are located in Riverdale, Illinois at 520 West 138th Street. Our ministry is made possible by your donations. To make a donation or to view all of our locations across the world, please visit our website at www.theisraelofgod.com.